Howdy, guys, and welcome to Cliff Notes, and welcome to night number 43 of the overnight feed recaps for Big Brother season 26. A good Friday to y'all. TGIF. All right, well, what can I say? What an episode last night. We lost Tucker. Oh my God. We're halfway through the season, right? We're halfway there. The first half has been such a crazy season. Is the second half going to be as crazy? I don't know, but without Tucker there, can it be as crazy? We lost Tucker. It was an incredible episode. Something else. It's been a fun season. All right, let's talk about that. Tucker. He was fun to watch, but it was just a matter of time. As soon as we saw him not win that AIBB arena, you just knew that the writing was on the wall, it seemed like, for Tucker. Making yourself the center of attention places such a huge target on your back. Tucker was fun to watch, but he also just made that target bigger and bigger. Just not maybe the most strategic gameplay, but it was cool while it lasted, Tucker, my friend. And I think we'll see you back somewhere on some show at some point in the future. All right, a couple of things before we talk about the live feeds. First of all, Julie, during your interviews, did not mention jury. We're still not there yet. Are we going to be a 7-person jury? It certainly is seeming more like that could be the case. She did tell Tucker who voted for and against him in the vote, which, giving out that kind of privileged information means that we're not looking at battle back. We're not looking at any kind of situation where Tucker would go into jury or anything else. I think we're through with Tucker for the season. Yeah, I was a little surprised that we still don't have the jury yet. We also didn't have any indication that the AIBB arena is going away. So it looks like we may have at least one more week of that, even though she teased that there'll be big changes next week with Ainsley. I expect we'll see it going away, but the HOH this week sounds like it again. They're going to have to put up 3 people instead of 2. You're running out of targets in this house as you keep working your way through the people. All right. Just a thought before we talk about the feeds. Tucker's gone. Angela had her big blow up trying to flip the house and everything else. And then Tucker gone. Is Angela now going to try to claim that getting Tucker out was her doing, that she started the ball rolling for this entire week? If Angela was to make it to the end, is this going to be Angela's resume builder? Will other people feel the same way? More than that, though, as much as Angela did that and then she told everyone it was a mistake, the fact that in the end it worked out, she survived a vote versus Tucker. Is it going to embolden her? Is it going to empower her to maybe do something similar in the future? Or has Angela learned her lesson? Well, what do you think? Yeah, I expect more. Angela will take up the slack for Tucker and give us another second half. The second half season will be just as fun as the first. I do expect. I want to see how Angela responds to the fact that she started the ball rolling on us. All right, now let's talk about live feeds. First of all, feeds were down until about 8 o'clock or so, Big Brother time, waiting for the West Coast feed to finish up. I got excited because the feeds came back on for a little bit, quickly looking to see who's wearing the HOH key. Can't see it anywhere. Everyone seems to be very chill at that point in time, which was a good indication that they did not have the HOH competition starting yet. And it turns out that was the case. But we still had some conversations. We had Rabina and Mackenzie and T-Core talking to each other. Rabina talking about how long it's going to be before she sees Tucker again. Well, maybe, maybe not. But talking about that, here's the thing. If Rabina makes jury, if we have another 45 days or so before she sees Tucker, it's going to be rough because she's talking now about how much she misses them and all that. She's going to spend 45 days wondering, was he really playing her? The whole paranoia she had before, I don't think it goes away just because Tucker is out of the game. Is she going to want to envision what's going to happen after the show, or is she going to think that he's been playing her? I think that's going to continue to create some issues for Rabina thinking about what her relationship may or may not be going forward. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, we've got Mackenzie talking about Angela, saying she just will not stop talking. Just shut the bleep up. I'm tired of hearing her talking about everything, the way everything went down and the votes and all of that. She says she's down there cleaning, trying to do things to build back up with everyone in the house. She's saying she can't clean enough to make that work, but she's just down there talking. So Mackenzie's had enough of Angela. I have a feeling there's a few other people in the house that may feel the same way this week. All right, we've got Mackenzie also worried that now that she won against Tucker in this BBAI arena, that maybe she's going to be considered a comp beast, and she doesn't want that label on her necessarily, so she's a little bit worried about that. She's saying as well, thought this was a pretty good move. She's telling, again, this is Rabina and T-Core that she's talking to. She's saying that as soon as that she was planning to save Tucker. That's really, she had Tucker's back. Maybe not so much, but that's what she's telling Rabina and T-Core, that she had Rabina, that she had Tucker's back. But as soon as they got into the BB arena, Tucker immediately, first of all, started yelling that he liked puzzles, which she said scared her to death, that he felt so positive about the kind of competition they were going to have. But she's also saying that as soon as they got in the arena, that Tucker hugged Angela and said that he would save her. He would make sure she stayed safe this week. And so it was obvious that Tucker was planning to vote out Mackenzie. And she said, based on that, I had to vote him out, right? So in other words, I know I just voted out someone that was very tight with the two of you. I just voted out your showmance, Rabina, but I didn't do it because I wanted to. I did it because my hand was forced by what he said. Not necessarily the truth, but a good spin that she's putting in place to the two of them. So she does mention that. Angela, meanwhile, is telling Cam that Tucker would have won this thing. He did his puzzle pieces backwards, and as a result, he didn't win. But if it hadn't been for that, he was going fast enough, and he would have been fast enough. He probably would have won over Mackenzie. I don't think that's the case. I think Mackenzie played that puzzle game perfectly. I don't know that anyone beats her in that particular competition. Tucker was dead drawing no matter what. It didn't help they did puzzle pieces backwards, but it wouldn't have made a difference. That was Mackenzie's game to lose, as we discovered. All right, we've got Joseph talking to Quinn, telling Quinn that Joseph had invested a lot of time playing this game with Tucker and trying to make sure that they were tight and working together and all that. And he's saying, I spent a lot of time working and investing in myself in someone that really just wasn't that good at the game. And he's saying, even though it's a little tough, he said, last week was probably the worst week of my life trying to deal with all of this and all. He said, but at the end of the day, Tucker being gone probably is a good thing for me. It probably helps my game going forward. Could be. He doesn't have that protection. He needs to do a little damage control himself, but could be. All right, feeds. Again, I thought maybe we were going to get HOH. We didn't. Feeds went back down. They came back about 11 o'clock or so, Big Brother time, 1 o'clock Houston time, immediately. Thank you, HOH winner, for wearing the key around your neck, because we immediately see who won the HOH. And this week's HOH is Quinn. He almost did it in the wall competition. Tucker's out the door, and Quinn wins HOH. Congratulations to you. That's going to make for potentially a very interesting HOH. Sounds like the competition involved eggs. It may have been, the competition where you're in a chicken coop and you're trying to move your eggs through chicken wire and they fall and all that. It could be something like that. We don't really know for certain. There wasn't a lot of talk about it, but it could. There was mention it was an iconic competition, so it makes me think it's something we've seen before. It sounds like Quinn won, but it sounds like Leah was pretty close behind Quinn. What would she do in an HOH? That would have been interesting to see as well. But Quinn won this thing. We had have-nots this week. Yes, another week of have-nots. Only 2 this week, though. But have-nots determined by placement in the game. It sounds like the first 2 people, I didn't hear that came in last in terms of placement. I heard talk about the people who dropped their eggs first. So maybe the first 2 people who dropped an egg and had it splatter was how have-nots were determined. But have-nots are going to be this week. Well, I've thought on here. It doesn't matter. Chemo and Mackenzie. Yeah, Chemo and Mackenzie are going to be have-nots this week based on them dropping their eggs first. Apparently, and we heard this from Chelsea, I think Mackenzie may have mentioned it as well. Angela was trying to make some kind of promises to MJ and then Chelsea, I think, as well, and others, that if they went ahead and dropped their eggs and became have-nots, if Angela then won HOH, she would not put them on the block. Just for virtue of volunteering to be have-not by dropping your egg, Angela would protect him this week. Doesn't sound like anyone went for it. Mackenzie at one point said, once I dropped my egg, I said, well, there you go, Angela. Might as well, now I'm the second have-not, so whatever. Apparently Angela's trying to make some deals where they're playing the game itself. I think Angela feels a little I don't know. Is it Angela feeling a little uncertain in the game, or she just didn't want to be have not again this week? Probably a little bit of each, but apparently she was trying to negotiate some stuff while they did this competition. All right, and finally, and there's some complaint. I think this is what Chelsea said, that maybe she was complaining. It sounds like maybe Angela didn't even really try to win HOH, perhaps, that maybe she was, and I'm kind of reading between the lines a little bit with what Chelsea was saying. But she said something about, yeah, she didn't really start moving her egg until the 2 eggs had fallen. So maybe Angela wasn't even necessarily trying to win. She was just kind of holding on to her egg and waiting for others to drop before she started trying to move her. So, yeah, Angela did not want to be a have not this week. All right, so who should be worried with the Quinn HOH? Talk about that before we get into the live feeds themselves. Who should be worried this week? Well, Quinn has tried to work with almost everyone in the house, right? They complained about Tucker doing some of this. Quinn has certainly got his hands in a lot of alliance pots, so to speak. He's tried to work with almost everyone in the house. Angela constantly called out Quinn. You would think she's in trouble, right? Rabina and Mackenzie have worked closely with Quinn, or haven't worked closely with Quinn. So one or both of those could potentially be in trouble as well. So we'll find out. All right, let's talk about the overnight feeds themselves, because even though they started late, they certainly squeezed in as many conversations as they could. They didn't go to bed till 6 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see if Big Brother wakes them up early this morning. All right, Quinn and T-Core talking to one another. Quinn is saying that Rabina is definitely going up. So we've got nominee number 1. Rabina is definitely going up. He's saying that he just built a bridge with Mackenzie and Chelsea and Cam. So he's feeling okay with them. He's not going to put them up, but Rabina is going up on the block. T-Core certainly doesn't want to hear this, although she's pretty quiet. She doesn't really fight too much. He's telling T-Core that she is definitely safe this week, which may be why she's not complaining too much. T-Core, though, is saying that's fine if you want to do it, but go talk to Joseph and see what he thinks as well. She is saying that she really doesn't think that Chemo or Rabina were part of Tucker's plan to maybe go after Quinn. So she's saying, go talk to Joseph, confirm that. I think hoping that maybe that means they wouldn't necessarily, that Quinn wouldn't put Rabina up after all. So she's trying what she can to protect Chemo and Rabina. All right, we've got Quinn and Cam talking to one another, Quinn saying at this point to Cam that he definitely wants Angela on the block. So nominee number 2 potentially. And Rabina as well. So we've got 2 of the 3, assuming it's 3. Cam is saying that Chemo would have put Quinn up if he had a chance. So Cam's certainly throwing Chemo under the bus just a little bit here. Quinn is saying that he doesn't necessarily want to send Angela home this week. That, yeah, they've had their beef and all, but he feels like that would just be a bit of a wasted HOH. And so he's going to treat Angela as more of just a placeholder. Yeah, she's definitely going up, but there may be bigger fish to see to go after as well. Quinn does tell Cam that he trusts Cam and that Cam should be safe this week. So yeah, he's making sure that he and Cam are on good conditions with each other. All right, we've got Quinn and Chelsea talking. Again, this is all one-on-ones. Quinn didn't have his HOH room yet, so up in the upstairs bumper pool area. But then we have a one-on-one Quinn and Chelsea talking. He's telling Chelsea, saying, you're safe. You're not going anywhere. In fact, not only are you not going anywhere, Chelsea, we already kind of talked about wanting to work together. He said, now that I've got this position, I really want to work with you. I want to work with you and Cam and T-Core. Kind of his 4 that he's throwing out there is the ones he'd like to work with. He's saying that he probably is not going to put up Mackenzie because she's been up on the block so many times, and he just doesn't feel like it'd be right to her. So Mackenzie may be getting a pass this week, according to what Quinn's telling Chelsea. Quinn is saying that, or Chelsea is saying that T-Core and Rabina and Chemo were saying that Quinn wanted Mackenzie out of the house before the vote and everything else. And Quinn saying, no, the night before I sat up there and said that I wanted Angela out, not Mackenzie. So if they're saying that is not correct. Chelsea is saying that Joseph is looking for a team. So more or less proposing that maybe they bring Joseph in as well. Now, we know Quinn, it seems like Quinn would want that. Quinn's kind of downplaying that. I think trying to keep himself in Joseph's distance. So Quinn's not really jumping on that idea yet, but Chelsea is throwing that out there. Chelsea is saying that Chemo, right before the vote itself, had whispered in her ear to keep Tucker. So again, we know from the vote standpoint, Chemo and Rabina and and Joseph were the ones that voted to save Tucker. And so Chelsea just saying, yeah, Chemo was trying to convert me over as well. He was trying to do what he could to save Tucker. So just keep that in mind. And then finally, Quinn is saying that he's going to saying he's going to say rest Chemo. I don't know. Trust Chemo, not trust Chemo. I don't know. It was a late night. All right. So anyway, we got Chemo talking to T-Core. Chemo's telling T-Core he's worried about Quinn, that they told Quinn that they would save him over Tucker. They thought that would help in case something just like this happened. But now he's not sure that Quinn necessarily believed them. And so he's a little bit worried about Quinn having a position of power and how that affects himself and T-Core and Rabina. All right, we've got Joseph and Leah talking. They were down in the pedal room, if I recall, the unicorn room. Joseph is saying that they need to try to keep Rabina and T-Core and Chemo safe this week, which got me thinking, if you're keeping them safe, then Joseph, who would your targets be? Who do you want gone if not targeting these three? Because it certainly seems like these were on the outs with the rest of the house, as are you. So it seems like you'd maybe want them on the block to avoid you going on the block. But he's saying, yeah, Rabina, T-Core, Chemo, we need to keep them safe this week. Well, it turns out the reason he thinks that's the case, he's telling Leah that they are an obvious trio working together. The rest of the house recognizes it. He says, if we keep them safe this week, then they will be targets later, and they're going to keep people from focusing on you and me and Quinn because they'll be looking at those three. So again, I think Joseph is just vocalizing his confidence that he's not going home this week. So save those three as well so they can be targets at a later point in time. Joseph is saying that he'll stay close to Cam. He thinks that's a good idea, and suggesting that Leah needs to stay close to Chelsea so they can get information, stay tight with those folks for anticipation of what happens on down the road. Later in the evening, they formed a final two. Yeah, Leah and Joseph have formed a final two. I think they called it, a little hard to hear, but I think they call it the Castle. The final twos have, I guess final twos have alliance names sometimes as well. So yeah, they are the Castle. Leah's doing a good job of working with all the guys in this house and covering her bases. So Joseph and Leah, welcome to another final two alliance, the Castle this time. All right, we've got Rabina crying to Chemo about missing Tucker already. I think it's only going to get worse for a while. But yeah, she's not real happy the way things went down. She's saying though that she's not upset with the people who thought with their brains and sent Tucker home. That she understands that she was thinking with her heart. Other people were thinking with their brains, and she's not upset with them. She misses them, but she understands why they did what they did. She says at one point as well that she thinks this probably will help her game. I do think it will. Now, she may be in a little trouble right now because now she's having to rely on T-Core and Chemo. That's really, I think, the only connection she has in this house right now. So has to rely on them a little bit without Tucker there. Other than those two, she's a little bit of a lone wolf, I think. So she's got a little work to do herself, but I am curious to see what kind of game Rabina might play going forward. Now, we know she's going on the block, so she better be playing that damage control quick and fast. All right, we've got Angela asking the others. She's in the kitchen. I can't remember. She's talking, I think, Chelsea and Mackenzie, maybe Cameron there. So you got a few people in the kitchen with her. She's asking if everyone in there, if she made a fool of herself when she was asking to stay. Well, too late for that particular concern, Angela. A few things you've said so far this season that could create that kind of concern. But no, she's saying, did I make a fool of myself? I feel like maybe I begged a little bit. Chuck, her husband said, don't beg while you're in there. And I feel like I begged. I feel like maybe I made a fool of myself. And MJ with a perfect response that says, oh, it's okay, Angela. All of your speeches kind of sound like that. And it's just very you at this point in time. Zing! I thought that was pretty good. Chemo tells her, says, oh, no, you know what, Angela? I think you speak very well under pressure. Okay. All right, we got Chelsea and T-Core talking. They think they should both be good this week. They're worried about Rabina, though, and possibly Chemo going up next to Angela. They expect Angela to be on the block, but they think it could be Chemo and Rabina also. Chelsea is saying that Quinn has mentioned putting something together with her and T-Core and Cam. This was discussed even before Quinn got the HOH. This is a conversation. But yeah, she's mentioning this to T-Core, that Quinn really wants to work with you. I think we should be good and we can make something happen here. They're both agreeing that Tucker was a bit of a bully. He was an intimidator. T-Core is saying, yeah, I never trusted him at all. It's easy to say now that he's out of the house. But we did know that T-Core was a little concerned sometimes with Tucker. So now they're both vocalizing that they're glad he's gone. They can play a different game of Big Brother now. All right, we've got Quinn and Angela talking to one another. Quinn is asking who Angela would want to go up if she had a choice. Angela proceeds to talk for maybe I take that back. This isn't Angela. This is Leah. Quinn talking to Leah, saying, Leah, who would you want to put up? Leah's proceeding to talk for 10 minutes straight without ever giving a name, saying she I take that back. I need to start over. It is Angela talking to Quinn. I get used to Leah having long conversations without sometimes a whole lot of content, so forgive me for it. Quinn talking to Angela, saying, all right, Angela, if you were me, who's going up this week? Angela talks for a few minutes about it, saying, and never does throw out a name. She's saying that she didn't want to win this week. So, that's why I didn't want to win, because I didn't want to have to try to pick Quinn. I didn't want to be in your position. I bet she would have wanted to be in that position, but that's why I didn't want to win that HOH, Quinn. She's saying that she is not a floater, that she came in to play her own game, that she didn't want to ride anyone else's coattails, that she always wanted to be her own rescuer and always to kind of be by herself. Now, I don't remember that when she was begging to be part of the Avenue 6 Alliance, but she's saying she's always been wanted to kind of be by herself as far as how she plays the game and all of that. That, yeah, she joined whatever Tucker had going on, but that was just because, he was part of it. She really has always wanted to be on her own. But she does tell Quinn eventually, after meandering around without giving out any other names, she says, look, I'll just tell you directly, I don't want to go on the block. That's not what I want to happen this week. Quinn says, well, that's why I'm talking to everyone now, because I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. I've got to talk to everyone this evening. Well, no, we know Angela and Rabina are two of the targets he's already identified for the nominations this morning. All right, we've got Leah now talking to Quinn. Little head guy. Now Leah's talking to Quinn. She says, I've been saving this for you, Quinn. She says, I am genuinely excited for him. Genuinely excited for you. Okay. I'm glad you held on to that one, Leah. She's laughing about that. They're joking pretty much this whole conversation. Quinn is asking who she wants to go up, and Leah saying, not me. That's the name I got for you. She's called Not Me. Is who I want you to not be putting up on the block, Quinn. Leah saying how happy she was for his HOH. But on the other hand, she has never sucked up to an HOH before, and she doesn't plan to do so now. But then she says, but do you need your HOH key shined up? They're joking with each other. It's a very lighthearted conversation. She does throw Mackenzie under the bus a little bit by saying that Mackenzie was already telling people that she's safe. Quinn says, who did she say that to? And she signs who it is. And I think it was maybe like Chelsea and Cam. I'm not really sure of that, though. But she says, yeah, Mackenzie's already saying that she thinks that she's safe. She's also saying that she's a little bit bothered that Joseph was pushing to get her on the block last week, that obviously he wanted Tucker safe, would have preferred to have Leah gone potentially. So that's bothering her a little bit, but water under the bridge. All right, we've got Chemo and Rabina and T-Core talking, or as Tucker says, T-Core. He never did figure out her name, did he? All right, we've got Chemo, and maybe that's why she didn't trust him. Chemo and Rabina and T-Core, T-Core talking now. I'm going to do it. T-Core saying that they need to tell Quinn if he puts one of them up, he loses a number. He can't be putting up people that he's trying to work with. T-Core didn't seem to remember that last week, did she? But she's saying, yeah, Quinn needs to realize if he puts one of us up, he's losing a number. It wouldn't be good for him. T-Core saying all three of us are going to survive this week. We'll do what we need to do to make sure that we all survive. We need to remind Quinn how much we protected him in past weeks. He's got to remember that he's here and protected because of us. And now he kind of owes us a favor back because of that. All right, we've got Mackenzie talking to T-Core, saying that she feels bad that she has lied twice in this house so far. She's not going to lie anymore in this house. She's already done it twice. It feels bad. No more lying while we're in the house. Well, Mackenzie, welcome to Big Brother, where lies are part of the game. All right, we finally get Quinn's HOH room around 2:00 in the morning, Big Brother time. I feel for Quinn. When I won HOH during my season, it was a very late night HOH competition. I didn't get my room until about 2:00 in the morning. Nominations were about 9:30 or so the next morning. So very little time to talk or discuss. It makes for a short evening, but finally Quinn gets his room around 2:00 or so. Letter from his mom, pictures of his family, his dogs, talks a lot about his dogs. Not sure what music he got. He complained that production had said no to two of his picks, so he got something else. What kind of music are you listening to, Quinn? But yeah, he got music and pictures and letter from his mom and all of that. The backyard is open. Now, what does that say? If the backyard is open, the veto competition obviously isn't going to be back there. It must be in their alternative location, which suggests to me that we're not quite to OTEV yet, because OTEV's always in the backyard. So I don't know what kind of veto we'll get, but I don't think it'll be OTEV. Slip and slide is always an HOH competition, so we shouldn't be having that. We'll see what this one is coming up. We'll be finding that out tomorrow. Cam has discovered there's now a grill that's been installed in the backyard. This is for Labor Day. So they'll have a grill to cook out on Labor Day and enjoy themselves. Mackenzie not happy, realizing that she's going to be a have-not over Labor Day. She will not get to participate in the grilling and cooking in the backyard. I guess she could get some slop dogs or something, but not going to be the same Labor Day celebration for Mackenzie or Chemo. All right, Quinn is telling Joseph he's not putting up Leah. That's not in the plan. So Leah's going to be safe here, Joseph. He is saying that we've got the final third. He's saying that Angela's going on a block, Rabina's going on the block, and Chemo is going on the block. So yeah, as much as T-Core said it's not going to happen, Chemo apparently is going to go on the block as well. He's saying that he wants Chemo on the block because he's just exhausting to deal with. And he doesn't, I guess, put him on the block and you don't have Chemo in your ear as much about different things. So yeah, Chemo, Rabina, and Angela going on the block. Joseph was warning Quinn that he and Tucker and Rabina had kind of talked some trash about Quinn. He's saying, so if Rabina comes to you and starts saying this stuff, I just want you to know ahead of time that I was doing it just as part of the strategy and all that, and to distance ourselves and all, but I want you to know ahead of time before Rabina comes and says, oh, Joseph said this and that. So they're preparing a little bit on that. Quinn is saying that, he's told people Angela is the primary target, but really it's Rabina. He would like Rabina to go home this week. That is his primary target. Joseph's talking about the 6th Avenue alliance that existed, filling Quinn in on a little bit, saying, Quinn, you would have been included instead of Angela. That's what everyone wanted. She kind of forced her way in, and just so you know. So they're discussing a little past history on that. Quinn is saying that they can probably build something with Cam and Chelsea and Mackenzie and Leah. So the 4 of them plus Quinn and Joseph, you got 6 people right there that maybe they could do something with. They are promising each other that we're still working together. We're going to try to stay distant, but we're promising each other they are not going to put each other up on the block. All right, we've got Rabina and T-Core talking. Rabina's thinking that Quinn won't put up Chemo. Well, maybe reevaluate that, Rabina, a little bit. But yeah, she's saying, I just don't think Quinn's going to put up Chemo. T-Core is saying that Quinn, remember earlier there was talk, Quinn talked to T-Core and said that he was trying to build bridges with Quinn and Cam and all that. Well, now T-Core is saying, look, Quinn hasn't even built a bridge with Mackenzie. And if he puts up Chemo, that Quinn is burning down 3 separate bridges, her and Chemo and Rabina. So she's just worried that if he does that, it's not going to go well for Quinn. T-Core is saying that Mackenzie has a good chance of winning this entire game. That she played a key in taking out Tucker. She's won some competitions. She's been playing alone and still survived. So T-Core very much identifying who she would like to see targeted this week, and her name is Mackenzie. All right, so much for last week where T-Core said, Mackenzie's actually nicer than I thought. Less targets in the house. She's got to start picking out different people, and T-Core has identified Mackenzie as her primary target this week. All right, T-Core and Chemo are outside talking a little bit more. Chemo is saying that if Quinn puts him up, whatever. I think we'll see Chemo a little more concerned than whatever. Chemo gets concerned about everything anyway. If he's on the block, just ramp that up a couple of notches. But he's saying, if he puts me up, whatever. He's trying to adjust to the idea, the anticipation that he very well could go up. T-Core's thinking that they had a thing with Quinn, the visionaries and all that, but maybe not so much. Maybe not if that actually happens. She's saying, I will not lose you or Rabina in this game. It's just not going to happen. We will make sure it doesn't happen. T-Core is saying that people can't help but like Chemo and Rabina in this game, and they represent something special in this house, and she thinks that will go a long way towards protecting them. Well, unfortunately, we just heard Quinn talking about how Chemo can be a little exhausting with conversations and such. So a little disconnect on perceptions with the rest of the house guests. All right, we've got Quinn and Rabina talking. Rabina's saying that she hasn't lied about anything so far in this game, and that she was rooting for Quinn to win this, and she's so happy that he won this as well. That she is glad that Tucker is gone. That they were showmans, but he kind of played a dumb game, and so it's probably just as well that she's gone. And now Quinn in return is telling Rabina that, hey, the main target is Angela, right? Obviously, I want Angela out of the house. So he's trying to comfort Rabina, make her feel a little more comfortable, knowing that she's going to go on the block today, but wanting to make sure that she thinks that she is not the primary target, which sounds like she probably is, but she doesn't know that yet. All right, we've got Quinn and Chemo talking. Chemo is saying that getting out was Tucker was a good move. Yeah, it didn't seem like that when you voted to save him last night. But yeah, telling Quinn now, congratulate, a fantastic move on your part. Quinn is saying that he did not want Angela on jury. Again, similar to Rabina, hinting around to Chemo that, I want Angela gone. Angela has to be gone. So he's saying, I don't want Angela on jury, whatever it takes to make sure she doesn't go to jury, which I'm sure Chemo is buying and thinking is probably true. Chemo is asking directly, saying, look, am I going to go on the block? Is it going to be me? And Quinn's saying, well, look, even if that does happen, not saying it's going to happen, but even if it does happen, Chemo, you're not going to go home. I want Angela out. If you go up there, it's just because someone has to go up. You're going to be good. Angela is going home this week. Maybe not so much. He's saying that he told Rabina the same thing. Well, Chemo comes up with the perfect question in follow-up, saying, okay, well, I'm glad to hear that. I trust you. I believe you. I thank you so much, Quinn, that I'm not the primary target. But what if Angela somehow miraculously wins veto, pulls herself off the block? Then what are you going to do? And Quinn says, well, at that point, Rabina goes home. Well, Quinn doesn't have a vote. It's not up to him at that point. But he certainly is suggesting to Chemo that he is the very lowest on the pecking order in terms of who Quinn wants out of the door come next Thursday. All right, finally, we've got Quinn and Mackenzie talking. This may have been just a little bit earlier, but I'll throw it in here. Quinn is telling Mackenzie about wanting a group of him and her and Cam and Chelsea and Leah and Joseph and T-Core as well in a group together. So basically take everyone who's left in the house, get rid of the three people that he wants to put up for nomination of Chemo and Rabina and Angela. Take everyone else, and we'll have an alliance to work going forward. MJ, as she should, is saying, that's 7 people. It seems like a lot of people given the size of the house right now. I would prefer maybe not to have that many, maybe no more than 6. She follows up by saying, I think Joseph would come after me. So in other words, she's saying, that's fine, Quinn. I want to work with you. I'm happy to work with you, but maybe don't have Joseph in there. Maybe we can just have 6. That's a huge number alliance for this stage of the game. So, but at least I think she feels good that she's potentially being included, that Quinn's talking to her about it. Mackenzie, just to make sure that Quinn knows where the target is and all of that, recognizing that Rabina wasn't one of those listed. Mackenzie's pointing out to Quinn saying, look, just so you know, Rabina proposed a girls' alliance a while back. She said she mentioned it, then a week goes by, she doesn't say anything about it. Just so you know, nothing happened. There is no girls' alliance, so don't worry about that. But Rabina was certainly wanting to form one. So in other words, Rabina may be a great choice for you out there, Quinn. And Quinn certainly, as we've heard through other conversations, is on the same page as Mackenzie on that. Just as a reminder, we've got 6 women in the house and 4 men at this point in time. So take that, consider that as you would. Did I get that right? Yeah, Quinn and Cam and Joseph and who else? 6'4". Anyway, so yeah, they're talking about that a little bit, and then finally, Quinn up in his HOH room, has his room, has it to himself. He's doing some dancing, he's doing some yelling, saying, "You did it, you did it." He's a happy camper, as he should be. So doing a little bit of celebrating. Gets ready to call a night, runs downstairs, realizes it's already 6 o'clock, big brother time, runs back upstairs saying, I got 3 hours. Great. So yeah, it's going to be a short night for Quinn. And there you have it, guys. So today, Quinn is going to make his nominations. It could come early. We'll find out. Sure seems, based on everything last night, Chemo, Rabina, Angela, with Rabina definitely the primary target. We'll find out what happens after that. Guys, y'all have a fantastic Friday. I'll be back tomorrow morning to let you know what happened with the nominations, see if we've got some house alliance that's formed or not, see how it works out. We had a lot of people last night that seemed like they were in a bit of a house alliance themselves. We'll see how it all plays out overnight. But until tomorrow morning, y'all have a great Friday. I will talk to you then. SKD 143. Cheers, my friends. Bye.